All right, let's get right into it. We're about to take a journey way, way back in time. We're talking 200 million years to tell the absolutely incredible story of how the Indian subcontinent came to be. It's a tale that's almost hard to believe, full of solo voyages across vanished oceans, massive volcanic eruptions, and a final collision that literally built the roof of the world.
You know, this quote from our source just nails it. It perfectly sets the stage. We're not just talking about geography or looking at maps here. We're looking at a piece of land that has been a living, breathing witness to our planet's most dramatic changes. Okay, get ready for this number. 9,000 kilometers. Just let that sink in. That's the mind-boggling distance the Indian landmass traveled all by itself after it broke off from its ancient home. It is, without a doubt, one of the most epic solo trips in the history of our planet.
So, the big question is, where did a journey like that even start? Well, it begins in a place that doesn't exist anymore. A lost world, a giant supercontinent that was India's first home, the great land of Gondwana.
Try to picture this. Forget the continents as we know them. Imagine a time when South America, Africa, Antarctica, Australia, Madagascar, and, yep, India were all locked together like one giant jigsaw puzzle. For millions upon millions of years, this was just how the world was.
And here's a super cool fact. That name, Gondwana, it actually comes from right here in India, from the Gond tribes in the central part of the country. And why is that? Because that's where geologists first found the clues, the ancient rocks that basically proved the supercontinent was real. The story of the whole world is literally written in India's bedrock.
But of course, nothing lasts forever, especially not in geology. Deep beneath the surface, the planet was stirring, and it was time for the Great Separation. This was the moment that would tear Gondwana apart and completely redraw the world map.
Which of course makes you wonder, right? How on earth does something so unimaginably huge, a whole supercontinent, just break apart? I mean, what kind of force is powerful enough to do that?
Well, the answer lies deep, deep down inside the Earth. Think of a massive, churning ocean of molten rock, magma, right under the crust. It's constantly pushing upwards, creating this incredible, relentless pressure. Eventually, it weakened the crust from below until, snap, cracks started to form, and the whole thing just shattered into the pieces we know today.
And the key thing to remember is this didn't happen overnight. Nope. This was a slow-motion breakup that took millions and millions of years. India kind of peeled off with a few other buddies at first, but eventually it was out there, all on its own, charting a course north, on a collision course with destiny.
But let me tell you, India's solo journey was anything but a quiet cruise. No way. This was a dramatic, fiery voyage across an ancient ocean, marked by events so big they shaped the very landscape of the country we see today. This part is amazing. It's like a perfect chain reaction. As India violently rips away from Madagascar, boom, a massive amount of lava pours out. It cools, layer upon layer, and forms the Western Ghats Mountains. This whole process actually tilted the entire tectonic plate. So now you've got this brand new mountain range acting like a giant wall, blocking all the moisture-filled winds coming in from the sea. Those winds have nowhere to go but up, where they cool down and, whoosh, all that moisture gets dumped as torrential rain. And just like that, the Indian monsoon was born, all thanks to that one volcanic breakup.
And you can still see the family resemblance from its Gondwana days. If you look at India's Eastern Ghats and compare them to the mountains all the way over in Australia's Western Belt, you'll find their rocks are stunningly similar. Same age, same composition, even similar magnetic properties. They're like long-lost geological brothers, forged at the exact same time before they were torn apart.
Then, about 60 million years ago, India's journey took it over a massive volcanic hotspot. This triggered one of the largest volcanic events in our planet's history. For thousands of years, lava just poured out, blanketing a huge part of central India. This created what we now call the Deccan Traps, a truly mind-boggling feature.
And the timing of this, wow, you just can't make this stuff up. At almost the exact same geological moment that the famous dinosaur-killing asteroid slammed into Mexico, you had these massive eruptions happening on the other side of the world. It was the ultimate one-two punch. The asteroid's impact caused an impact winter, while the volcanoes pumped the air full of climate-altering gases. It was a double catastrophe that spelled the end for the dinosaurs.
Now, as India got closer to its final destination, it started moving really, really fast. We're talking 15 to 25 centimeters per year. I know, that doesn't sound like much, but in geological terms, that is absolutely flooring it. The Indian plate was in a serious hurry.
And all of that speed was building up to one thing: the grand finale. The collision. An event so huge, it didn't just end India's journey. It created a geological legacy that defines our entire planet.
50 million years ago, it happened. After that 9,000-kilometer sprint across the ocean, the Indian plate finally slammed head-on into the massive Eurasian plate. This was the biggest, most powerful tectonic collision our planet has seen in hundreds of millions of years. All that incredible force had to go somewhere, and it went up. The Earth's crust crumpled, buckled, and was shoved miles into the sky, creating the magnificent Himalayas. This single collision gave birth to the tallest and youngest mountain range on Earth, a scar from a truly epic impact. But the legacy of the Himalayas is so much more than just mountains. It's water. The glaciers that formed on these massive peaks melt each year, giving birth to the great rivers that are the absolute lifeblood of the subcontinent: the Ganga, the Yamuna, the Brahmaputra, the Indus. That collision created the water towers of Asia. So when you really think about it, looking at the landscape of India is like reading a history book written in stone. From the volcanic steppes of the Deccan Traps to the glacier-fed waters of the Ganga, every single feature is a living monument to this incredible 200-million-year journey.
So I'll leave you with this thought. The next time you look at a mountain, any mountain, or a river, what are you really seeing? Is it just a piece of nature? Or are you seeing a story? A story of movement, of fire, and of colossal collisions that shaped not just a country, but the very world we all live in today.